Hello YouTube, welcome to another Season 6 Patch 6.5 guide by eGaming Television, and in this one we're covering Alistar, the Minotaur.
You can't milk those!
For more of our guides, you can go to our website, which is www.egamingtv.com. You can also follow us on Twitter if you do wish to talk to us at egaming_TV. Now we do skin giveaways at the end of every month on Twitter, so if you guys have a Twitter, make sure you guys do follow us as March is coming to an end. Alright, so let's start this guide by looking at Alistar's pros and cons, starting with his first pro, which is he has high crowd control. Alistar brings pretty much more CC to a team fight than any support really, besides maybe something like a Leona. The best part about his CC, if he is going into a rather clumped team, he can actually stun an entire team in a relatively good radius. With the recent change, Alistar is also able to land his CC combo much easier as he can toggle his Q while his W is going, so he automatically knocks people up into the air as well. One of the downsides to Alistar before was that he required some decent skill in order to land his combo, however now this is not the case, so he's a perfect pick for new players as well. Due to the high CC he brings, the heal, and how tanky he can get with his R, he is a great late game support as well. He's actually strong at all points in the game, so he's always a good pick and he can fit into any comp really. Although his E did get nerfed a little bit, he still at least provides some sustain in the lane. One of the cons to a lot of the supports out there that provide a lot of CC is that they don't have sustain. But Alistar brings this. Due to the sustain he does get, and the high crowd control he offers, he is easily a top tier pick. One cool thing about Alistar's heal in particular is that he actually heals minions as well that are near him. Not only is this great for pushing and sieging, but you can even deny CS with this. When your minion is about to get CS'd, you can simply heal it up. When the auto attack does go off, it'll still have a little bit of health left and hopefully die to minions. You can do this over and over again to hopefully get your AD carry a CS lead. Another awesome pro Alistar has is that he's insanely tanky in the late game. Like most tanky supports, he's able to get obviously a very tanky build, but his R also provides insane tankiness. Not only will he have really high defensive stats, but with his R, he has 70% damage reduction for 7 seconds. In a lot of cases, this will last the majority of an engage, and you'll usually live through fights. Due to the high crowd control Alistar provides, he's also got an amazing initiate. Due to his headbutt pulverize combo, Alistar is able to dash onto a target and pop them up into the air. He can even flash onto a target, pop it up into the air, and headbutt them back into his team. This is a great way to give your team a massive lead in a team fight, as it will be 4v5. The last pro I've listed here is that he's also a great roamer. You can get your boots of swiftness pretty early on, roam the map, and land your headbutt pulverize to get your team easy kills. Of course, if you are with an AD carry such as Vayne who needs you in the lane, then don't try to roam too much, but whenever you have the opportunity, roam the map and get some kills. Alistar's first con is the fact that he has long cooldowns on his abilities. The level 1 cooldown on all of his abilities is over 10 seconds at least, but they do go down with level. Early on this can be an issue as you don't have your CCs up very often and your heals cannot be spammed anymore. Champions such as Leona will have their cooldowns up more often and will be able to be way more aggressive than you are. Once we do get some levels into these skills however, and some cooldown reduction, we can start using our abilities much more often and we get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. Another issue Alistar does have though is that he's got low base mana and mana regeneration. This isn't that huge of an issue early on considering you can't use your spells that often, but later on when you are low on mana you don't really get it back too quickly, so you might not be able to use your spells all the time. We do get a pretty big mana pool considering we do go for a Frozen Heart, but we don't have a lot of mana regeneration in our build because of the items we need to go for. Try to conserve your mana as much as possible. Of course you do need to toss out heals for your teammates, but other than that, save your mana whenever you can. Alistar is also somewhat easy to kill when he does not have his ultimate. One of the big issues with this is Alistar is a frontliner, so he will be in the middle of the fight where everybody can hit him. We still build as tanky as possible so we can be really tanky in the front line, but without that 70% damage reduction, we are rather squishy without that. Alistar's last con, although he does have some sort of sustain in lane, is that he is prone to harass. Alistar is no longer able to spam his E as often considering it did get nerfed in a recent patch. Certain bot lane duos can easily outdamage the heals that Alistar puts out. Against these team comps, try to just survive as much as possible, and when you are strong enough to all in them, do so. For Alistar's Masteries, we get 18 Cunning and 12 Resolve. For our Keystone Mastery, we grab Windspeaker's Blessing as it is really strong with Alistar's Heal. So the first big thing with this ability, your heals and shields are 10% stronger. Additionally, your shields and heals on other allies increase their armor by between 5 and 22, based on level, and magic resist by half of that amount for 3 seconds. So this just brings a bit more utility into team fights for Alistar as he is adding more healing and some armor and magic resist onto his teammates. And of course, this is everything you would want from your support. Now his heal isn't as spammable as it was before since it did get nerfed, but this does actually infect your entire team, so this is an absolutely amazing mastery to have on Alistar. For the rest of our abilities, we focus on some health regeneration and mana regeneration since that was one of our cons, and some movement speed so we are able to roam around the map, getting our team some kills. We do the same for our runes as we did for our masteries, focusing on tankiness and movement speed. To get the best, we go for 9 greater marks of armor, 9 greater seals of armor, 9 greater glyphs of magic resist, and 3 greater quintessences of movement speed. In total, this gives you 4.5% movement speed, 18 armor, and 12 magic resist. So pretty much you won't be taking a lot of damage in the lane since you have all the armor and magic resist, and you can roam around the map finding kills for your team. For our summoners, we grab Flash and Ignite, and of course you can replace Ignite with Exhaust. Flash has a lot of defensive and offensive uses. This can allow you to escape from champions, or can be used to chase opponents if needed. You can also use your Flash to combo with Pulverize, so you're able to knock somebody back into your team with your headbutt. This is a really simple thing to do on Alistar, and can get your team tons and tons of free kills. Very simply, when you are close to a champion, you flash on top of them, land your Q, go to the other side where you want to knock them into, push W, and hit them into your team. Now, Alistar is a champion that can bring a lot of kill potential to the lane. To give Alistar an even bigger chance of getting his teammates snowballing, we therefore take Ignite. You may, however, need to take Exhaust depending on the enemy champions. Against hyper carries like Tryndamere or Master Yi, having Exhaust is pretty much a must-have. I almost always run Ignite because I really do like trying to snowball my teammates so we can win that way, but you do sometimes need to take Exhaust. Just pick it based on what the enemy team has. Alright, so now we're going to touch on each of Alistar's abilities, starting with his passive, which is called Trample. After using an ability, Alistar stampedes for 3 seconds, becoming ghosted and dealing between 7 and 24, based on level, plus 10% AP magic damage per second to nearby enemies and enemy structures, doubled against minions, and the range of the little AoE, I guess, is 300. So this is not a ton of damage, and it doesn't actually offer much damage in team fights. This can just help you push lanes, really, when you are trying to siege. The better part of this ability is the fact that you are ghosted, which does mean you can actually run through minions. Other than that, I'd say the main use for this is just to siege. I mean, it does do a bit of damage to structures as well and the minions, so it just helps you push the lane a little bit faster. Alright, so now for one piece of your CC combo, and this is your Q, which is called Pulverize. So Alistar slams the ground beneath him, knocking up nearby enemies for 1 second, stunning them for 0.5 seconds upon landing, and dealing magic damage. The magic damage this deals is between 60 and 240 based on level, plus 50% AP. The range is 365, the cost is between 65 and 85 mana, and the cooldown goes from 17 to 13 seconds at max rank. So this is definitely Alistar's best skill in his whole kit. Basically, it equals a 1.5 second stun with a range of 365 around Alistar. This means if he does get into a team that is clumped, he will pop all of them up. This is pretty devastating when you combo it with something like a Yasuo. Since this is our main CC, and the cooldown does go down nicely every time we level it, we max this one first. And here is the other part of our CC combo. It is our W, and it is called Headbutt. Alistar dashes to the target enemy, dealing magic damage, stunning them for 1 second, and knocking them back. And the magic damage is between 55 and 275, plus 70% AP. The range of the ability is 650, the cost is between 65 and 85 mana, and the cooldown starts at 14 seconds and ends at 10 at max rank. So this yet again, of course, has a long cooldown, but it does go down a second every time, so we max this one second. To use our combo, we simply use Headbutt on a target within 650 range and toggle our Q, so when we do reach that target, Q automatically gets used and pops them up into the air. You are able to do cool things like knock people into the wall. They will get stunned for 1 second, and then after you can wait, use your Q to chain the CC. If you combo it like that, you actually stun them from a longer duration rather than just stunning them as soon as you hit them. You can also get a good position on the enemy and knock them into your team as well, getting you a free kill. Alright, so now we're going to look at our E, which is our heal, and is called Triumphant Roar. I was just actually looking at the PBE, and it looks like this may actually get nerfed, so incoming Alistar nerfs probably. So right now, the skill is Alistar roars, healing himself and nearby allies for half as much. So the change I did see on the PBE was instead of allies receiving half as much, they receive 33%. This of course is just a straight up nerf right to the numbers, but Alistar's main strength isn't even actually in his heal, it's in his CC. This nerf does suck for Alistar players, but this by no means kills Alistar at all. He's still going to be one of the strongest support champions in the game, hands down. So moving on to the skill as it stands right now, the self-heal is between 60 and 180, plus 20% AP, and the ally heal of course is half, which is 30 to 90, plus 10% AP. Triumphant's Roar's cooldown is reduced by 2 seconds whenever an enemy dies near Alistar. The range of the heal is 575, the cost goes from 50 to 90 mana, and the cooldown is 16 seconds. So as I said, Alistar's main strength is in his CC, so we do max both of his CC skills first so we can get the cooldown down as much as possible, and of course it adds a bit more damage as well, so we do have to max this one last, although obviously having a heal is pretty nice. Other than that, if you are an Alistar player, hopefully the nerfs don't come, but it probably will happen to be honest, because Alistar is a very strong support right now. Okay, so time for our last ability, which is his ultimate, and is called Unbreakable Will. Alistar removes all hostile crowd control effects from himself. Additionally, he gains bonus attack damage and takes 70% reduced damage for 7 seconds. So the bonus attack damage is between 60 and 90 AD, depending of course on the level of the skill. The cost is 100 mana, and the cooldown goes from 120 to 100 to 80 seconds. So the best part of this ability, hands down, is the fact that you take 70% reduced damage for 7 seconds. With all the armor and magic resist and health you actually have, the 70% reduced damage is really hard to bring down Alistar, and he usually doesn't even die in this phase. The fact that you can even use this when you are crowd controlled to break them all is even nicer. On top of that, you actually gain a ton of AD and you actually start hitting people in the face rather hard for a support character. All in all, this is an insanely strong ultimate, and if used properly, can soak an obnoxious amount of damage. Try to be in a forward position where they don't really have any other option but to engage on you. When the steady damage starts coming in, pop your ultimate and let your team engage behind you. With all of those abilities covered, we're going to look at the ability order so you know when to take them. So first is your Unbreakable Will, which is your ultimate. You take it at 6, 11, and 16, which of course are the levels you can actually take it. Next is the first part of your CC and is the better part, which is your Q and is called Pulverize. You take it at 1, 4, 5, 7, and 9. Next in priority is the second part of your CC combo, which is your W and is called Headbutt. You take it at 2, 8, 10, 12, and 13. Finally is your heal, which is called Triumphant Roar, and it is your E. You take it at 3, 14, 15, 17, and 18. Seasons ago, you would always max your heal first since it was really nice and spammable, but it has been nerfed a bunch of times and it is no longer that great of an ability. Alistar's item build starts with a Relic Shield, 3 health potions, and a Warding Totem. The Relic Shield is by far the best support item on Alistar due to the health it gives, the nice little shields you get from the last version, and of course the last hit that it also does provide. The next item you pretty much always want to get no matter what support you are is a Sight Stone. It provides you with vision all around the map and keeps you and your partner safe. Since you want to go around the map looking for roam kills, you want to get your Boots of Swiftness rather early so you can find these kills. You then want to upgrade your Relic Shield into a Tarragon's Brace, just for the nice little additions it does give. You'll also want to make sure you do turn your Warding Totem into a Sweeping Lens so you can get rid of those damn wards. When you are level 9, also make sure that you do upgrade this into an Oracle Alteration. For our full build, we turn our Tarragon's Brace into a Face of the Mountain, so we do get the nice little activated shield. We of course do keep the Boots of Swiftness, as they are by far the best boots on Alistar, as he will be roaming around the map. We eventually want to turn our Sightstone into a Ruby Sightstone, but it is not that high in priority, as all it really does is add a bit more health. We want to make sure that we do get an Iron Locket of the Solari, so we do add a nice little magic resist aura to our team and get a bit tankier ourselves. The activated shield that this does offer as well is a nice addition, especially if you're against something with a lot of AoE like a Fiddlesticks. We always want to make sure we get a Frozen Heart because it does give us 90 armor, 20 cooldown reduction, which is really important because of our skills, and 400 mana. Unique Aura, which also reduces the attack speed of enemies by 15%, is an amazing thing to have. For our 6th and final item, we add a ZZ Rot portal, so we do get 60 armor, magic resist, and 125 base health regeneration. This is also great because we can actually get 20% movement speed when we're near turrets and whatnot, and we can also spawn a Void Gate which shoots out void spawns. This can help by pushing lanes. With this build, we have 40% cooldown reduction, which is actually 45 with the Masteries we take, and we are insanely tanky. The first alternative, of course, is a Zeke's Harbinger. It obviously depends on if your AD carry actually knows how this works and if he sticks near you, so I wouldn't always recommend this, and it is 10% wasted cooldown, depending on what you're replacing. Another alternative I've listed, of course, is a Mikhail's if you are against CC heavy teams. You can use this to save your AD carry when they are stuck in CC, or one of the other many characters on your team. If you think you're going to have trouble engaging into teams, you may want to pick up a Righteous Glory. The Activate, which gives you 60% movement speed, can be a great thing to get into teams. If you're against a very AD heavy team and you'd like to pick up some more armor and health, then you can always get a Randuin's as well. And hey, the Activate, when you are in the middle of a team, is a really nice thing to do. So that pretty much covers it for our Alistar guide. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I've got many other requested guides I've got to do. I've got a list. I'm thinking about putting a list so you guys can see that, so you guys can see what's already requested. Let me know what you guys think about that and what site or whatever I can use to actually make that list to show you guys. For more of these guides, you can go to www.egamingtv.com for a nice list of our guides. You can also follow us on Twitter at egaming_TV. We do monthly skin giveaways, and March is approaching its end, so if you guys do follow us on Twitter, there will be a picture for you guys to retweet, and you can enter the contest to win a skin. Very simple to do, so if you guys have Twitter, make sure you guys do that. Also, if you guys did enjoy this guide, please like and subscribe as we have tons and tons of League of Legends coming out in the near future. I have so many requests, it's ridiculous, so I've got to start putting out a guide every single day. If you guys have requested a guide, please know that it is coming. I have seen it. There's just so many requests right now. As always, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you guys around the YouTube channel, the website, and Twitter.